What's up, guys? Welcome to the show. This one's about stories from my youth and things you cannot do today that we did and we had a blast in. So, to start off with, I had a buddy, good old Medford, that managed the U-Haul place that sold and rented out U-Hauls. And his family lived in the apartment way up top. And of course, after a day, the family had to be away or something because we had the whole place to ourselves. So the family was away. We came home from partying, and of course, everybody crashed at his place, which was awesome, great, you know. But the fun started after, because when you got up in the morning, I forget who took us home, but none of our cars were there. We must have left them someplace because we were drunk or what. I forget. But because kid said, "I got the U-Haul. I'll drive you to your car and we'll drop you off." Everybody said, "Great." So being Utes back in the late 70s, early 80s, or mid 80s, this is what happened. 6 of us decide to ride in the back of the U-Haul. It's a blast. It'll be because we couldn't squeeze into the cab, so some of us had to go in the U-Haul. So as we're riding around, nothing crazy now, we're riding around, and all of a sudden, I could hear the guys out front. "All right, turning the light off." All right, fun, great. So you're either hanging on to somebody or hanging on to something in the truck. But I tell you, it was the craziest ride I ever had because riding in the back of a U-Haul truck, and yeah, he was going a little fast. Every single bump, you didn't feel the up. You just felt like the floor dropped out from underneath you. Crazy, crazy ride. I don't know how we survived, but we did. Nobody got hurt. No broken bones. No cracked skulls. Nothing. But we had a blast, and it was just a barrel of laughs, and it was great storytelling, and we had an awesome time in the back of that place, the back of the van, riding around through the roads. It was crazy. So another story that I don't know if they do anymore. Halloween night, me and my buddies, I think one of them, we drove his Z28. I think it was the 81 Z28, which was weird. It was a great car, but we'd all go snatching pumpkins. So, number one, driving around Medford, Revere, Malden, all those towns around there. And we would go to people's houses, and this is Halloween night, whatever. We would steal their pumpkins, put them in the back of the trunk of the Z28. And then, of course, we took them all. We were kind of cruel, kind of funny, but we smashed them all on one of my buddies' lawns. It was something that we did. It wasn't right, but something that we did. Little did I know, when I went to bed, my buddy saw me, and he took a whole bunch of them and smashed them on my lawn. So he got me back. And I woke up and went, I was like, holy crap, look at that crap. That was some of the craziness. Another story was with shaving cream. Me and my girlfriend at the time, driving the 86 Monte Carlo SS, driving through the bad streets of, I think it was Chelsea or Cambridge, one of those. So anyways, my girlfriend at the time, Rosie, driving through, and she's hanging out. She saw a van, and of course she starts to shave and cream it. And I got her by the pants because she was hanging out the window. All of a sudden, through the back of my window, I saw this guy come around the back of the van. And I was like, holy shit. And first thing I did is panicked. So I grabbed onto her in her pants, and she's still hanging out the window. And I gunned it. We just took off. And I think I was so nervous, and I just had a hold on her. I had a hold on the steering wheel, and I just gunned it, and we're going through the side streets, and she's still hanging in. And finally, I said, "All right, pull her butt back in," and we just, I think I went for next 20 minutes to a half hour, turned the lights out, just driving crazy up and down the streets because I didn't know if people were following us, we were going to get in trouble with the cops or what. And of course, my car at the time had loud mufflers, so there was no hiding there. So, and I'm just driving, and we're like, I'm asking her, is he coming? Is someone chasing us? What's going on? And I was like, nuts. So that was a bunch of fun. Just good old fun. Another one was when we had CBs. Remember the CBs? Great times. I had a buddy, I think it was Somerville, and it was me, my girlfriend, and this guy, and a kid that we met on the CB, whatever, friends. We became friends through that. Little did I know, he was a mischief maker, and his whole goal in life was to go to people's houses that he didn't like on CB and rip down their antennas, which was crazy to me because you're destroying people's property. Not that the van thing wasn't, but we didn't realize that. This is actually destruction, ripping something off of someone's house. But again, this is the 80s. A lot of stuff was out there. So I'm sitting, we driving down the street. He says, let me off. And he walks up and he says, wait down the back of the street. So I was about a good eighth of a mile down the street, side street. And I'm sitting, I'm pausing. But little did I know, I had my foot in the gas because the car was idling, because in case we needed a quick getaway. So the car's idling. Again, I didn't realize my brake lights were on. And all of a sudden, I don't know what he did. I didn't even see the kid that we dropped off. This guy, out of the back rear view of my mirror, comes running out of a house, and he's chasing me. And he comes running up to the car down the street with a baseball bat. And I was like, holy crap. He's connecting the people who ripped down his antenna, CB antenna, and he's connecting that with me. And I just happened to see him, and I was like, spin those tires and just take off down the road. Again, I was a nut when I was doing things back then. Lights are out, going through the streets with no lights. Of course, I had a black car, so it was easy to get away. And all out craziness in the 80s. Trust me, if we survived it for a reason. We're still here. But another craziness that I didn't, it was just absolute nuts. The stuff we came up with to do. So another time, it's not in the same night, all these stories. Another time, going back to my friend with the Z28. For some reason, it must have been a loose connection somehow in the engine, because his car would just go dead. So we're driving down Revere Beach Parkway, and we're coming down towards the beach, and it was either the dog track or the horse track. I forget which one it was. I thought it was horses. Was on the right, taking that corner. I think there was a supermarket on the left. Well, it was going too fast, and we spin the car around right in the middle of the road. So it was at night, so there weren't too many cars on the road. So all of a sudden, we're facing the wrong way. And of course, we all start laughing because we're kids. And all of a sudden, the car dies. So we're all panicking now, going, all right, get the car running. Let's go. There's cars coming. We're facing the wrong way. Holy crap. And it was all out nuts. Some of the stupid, crazy things that we did as kids, absolute bonkers. Like I said, thank you. Thank you, God, we survived. All the nuts. And it's just racing on the Linfells Parkway, if you know where that is. down by the beach in Revere, drag racing. That was another one. This is a pretty good story. So I had an 86 Monte Carlo Black. It was brand new at the time. Some kid, I had 2 kids with me, he had 2 kids with him, so we're 3 and 3 on the Lynn Fells Parkway. And he pulls up next to me and says, "You want to race?" Cool. That's what we did back then. So I'm in the right lane. He's behind me. He gets back in his car and says, "All right, I'm going to pull out, and then we're going to say 3 and we're going to go." He pulls out behind me, okay? A car or a truck came by and sideswiped him. And of course, luckily it didn't hit me. And I remember seeing dealer plates on the back of his car. I was like, oh no. His dad, I think what I thought it was, he must have taken a brand new car from the dealer and he took it for a joyride. And of course, he was out there racing me. I owned my car. And so as soon as that happened, we're like being kids. "All right, guy, you win. We're out of here." Took off and just didn't wait around for the cops. I know. This was the 80s, though. Remember that. The 80s were crazy, like the worst in the 70s, or I don't know what it was like in the 70s. I wasn't driving then. But it was nuts. And I guess that was leaving the scene of an accident, so I'm sorry. But, oh my God. Holy crap. Some of the crazy things we did. And the stories could go on and on. That's just some of the wild and crazy 80s stories from my youth. Share your stories with me.